Hello everyone and welcome back to another Bannerlord Quickfire update. In this update we're going to be talking about the new dev blog that came out a couple of days ago. Now this is exciting because it's talking about single player. So let's get quickly into the dev blog and let's get the main information to you guys as soon as possible. Okay, so first they talk about a new thing. They did mention influence before in their past dev blogs and in some of the interviews that they did, but they're going into more detail about this. Influence acts as a kind of currency. You can use these influence points to determine the outcome of some faction decisions and to make requests to allied lords. For an example, you can make a lord follow you or persuade them in some of the places you want to go and attack and do decisions and things like that if you have enough influence. But how can you get this influence? Well, you can gain influence by serving your kingdom in various ways, such as destroying bandits or enemy parties, raiding, capturing enemy settlements, and other things like that. So influence is very much a thing that is a very dynamically earned thing. You won't just get it from one individual thing, but many different activities that you do in the game, whether it be helping you or, a fellow citizens of Canradia out, and you'll gain influence from that, which you can then spend on the points that I discussed before. So depending on the power of said lord, the more influence it will cost to gain their trust, of course. Things like capturing castles can give you a massive increase of influence, but you have to make sure you keep this influence count high in your army. You need to keep the influence up for the best possible outcomes in battles. You can do this by making sure morale is high, and of course that will then proceed to making the upkeep of your army cost a bit less as well. So there's also things like that, and of course vice versa as well. So of course if you have less morale, if your guys are more likely to run away, then they're also going to take more to pay. You're going to have to pay them more to make sure they don't run away from your army and keep them in there as well. So that's going to hurt your treasury if you have a low influence level in your army. Depending on how far this army has travelled from their hometowns, or of course the duration of the campaign that you've gone on with your army, that will also affect the influence that you have on this army. If you've gone all the way to the other side of the map, very far away from their homelands, and you're losing battle after battle and little success in the field, then it's likely that it's going to be harder to keep your men with you. Of course, your lord's army will also have a higher chance of taking troops back and leaving their campaign and returning to their homeland. This is definitely not something you want to do, since these lords are vital to winning in battles, not only with tactics but providing you with troops. And that kind of takes me on to my next point. This is about the resources you have in the army. Now of course in Mount and Blade Warband you didn't really have other lords that followed you around that much or in your army, so the resources you had were the resources that you gained yourself, and that is what you kept the upkeep of your army with. But there's a new system added in Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord, and this is talking about pooled resources. For example, if you're low on a certain type of food and a lord joins your army if they want to follow you, and they have that food on them, then that will be shared around your army. This also goes for horses and mules. So this is shared throughout the army, and this is a really nice addition, as it also, it does add to that realism, but it's quite good because it encourages players to team up and not just attack anyone they find. You want to make better relations with lords you find, get them to join you, get them to follow you, and you'll be there stronger working together rather than just the lone army on your own, trying to take over Canradia as a lone wolf. So that's pretty much the main points that I've found from the new dev blog of Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord. Of course, this was just a quick fire update, so nothing too long, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you leave a like if you haven't already and subscribe to the channel for a lot more of these. I've got some really exciting content for you coming in the future. I'm kind of changing my content up a little bit, but this is something that hopefully you guys will like and hopefully is going to bring in quite a lot more people. But as always guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until then, I will see you in the next one.